Okay, you were just watching essentially the start of the parade, the open, this video that they produced for the Army, kind of showcasing some of the military might over the decades that we've seen play out.
And with that, we are sort of getting a history, right? A lot of us know about the U.S. Army, but now we're really learning about it. Michael Negron is joining us right now, formerly in the military yourself, also an official with the government at one point in time. Walk us through what we're seeing today. There has been a lot of criticism about the cost of this parade. We're looking at anywhere between $25 to $45 million, potentially even more being spent on this. Your assessment of the money that's been gone into this, considering the cuts that we've seen to the federal government.
Yes, well, thanks for having me here, Larry, Simone. Happy to talk about that. So I think what we're seeing is, number one, it is tremendous that it is a 250th anniversary of the United States Army, older than the United States of America. Later this year, 250th anniversary of the United States Navy, where I served, 250th anniversary of the Marine Corps. I think the problem with the way in which this came together is the context. So we are talking about 4 months ago, the plan for this was much more modest, much less expensive, still dignified, still at the level that this solemn occasion deserves. But the president, who had been seeking in his first term to have a military parade go through the city of Washington, D.C., and had been talked out of it by his senior military advisors and the Secretary of Defense, Jim Mattis at the time, now has finally got his wish, has this parade. It's on his birthday today. Happy birthday to the president. But we're doing that at a time that leaders in Washington are talking about a bill that will increase the deficit by $2.4 trillion at the cost of making cuts that will take 11 million people off of their health insurance, whether it's Medicaid or the Affordable Care Act. They're talking about cuts that will reduce reduce food aid to more than 2 million kids. And the dollar amounts don't seem that big, $45 million potentially, but that's $45 million. That is a year's worth of disability insurance for 7,200 veterans on disability. It's a year's worth of Medicaid for about 15,000 kids. And so, to me, the priorities are in question here.
I wanted to back you up on the context here because you said a lot of important things in that. And so I just wanted to break some of it down because the parade is in the midst of the president's big, beautiful bill, which you've kind of parceled out here, but it's been criticized for tax cuts for the wealthy, cuts to vital services to the middle class. And you're saying rather than spend this $45 million plus on a parade like this, it should be allocated more towards the middle class. Do I understand that correctly?
Yes, and I think what is the story that the president and his administration is telling to the United States? And so it is a parade that is extravagant. It's bringing together more than 150 Army vehicles, including 28 M1 Abrams tanks, 7,000 troops. The Golden Knights are going to come down from the sky and present with the president a flag. And at the same time, the president is pushing a bill that is essentially a reverse Robin Hood. The well-off really benefit from extended tax cuts, while millions of people have their benefits cut. And this is following months of cuts through a process led by the richest man in America, Elon Musk, and the Doge team, which resulted in the firings of tens of thousands of federal employees, many here in the Washington area. Veterans are a disproportionate share of federal employees. And so it all adds up to a president who's not focused on middle-class Americans, on working-class Americans. He is focused on pomp and circumstance. This is an exercise in vanity because it's happening on his birthday.
But the Secretary of the Army has been clear that this exercise that we're seeing today, this parade, is not just an opportunity to educate the public about the power and the history of the U.S. Army. It is also a recruitment tool for a U.S. military that needs more good men and women to join its forces. Why is it that that money can't be spent and looked at in that regard, as opposed to the fact that the government has been making these sort of sweeping cuts and that spending this money in this way is sort of reckless, as some would describe it to be? Well,
it's a very pricey recruiting tool, if that's really the main purpose of it, which I don't think it is. First of all, we're also coming on years of, the last few years have seen improved recruiting. In federal fiscal year 2024, the military exceeded its goals for that year after a few years of being below goals. And we're off to a great start this year with the Army having hit its recruiting goal for the year already. It's something that the administration has been happy to take credit for. I think it's a little early but to judge that, but I don't think as a recruiting mechanism, there are more cost-effective ways of doing it. And certainly, I think there's a bigger picture here beyond just the expenditures, and that is this parade is following a week where the president ordered the National Guard into Los Angeles despite the governor not seeking that form of assistance. This is the first time that this has happened since the civil rights days, when the president was ordering the National Guard to help integrate schools. It's happening only days after a sitting U.S. senator in California getting tackled to the ground because he went to a press conference in his own state at a federal building looking to ask a question. And so what we see is at the tail end of a week of images that I think a lot of Americans are concerned about, a military parade through the nation's capital for the first time in 30 years.
Well, and to your point, we, today in the early morning hours saw a politically motivated assassination of a lawmaker in Minnesota. And so as someone who is, a former service member, the energy in this country is so polarized right now. What would you say if we're speaking to that, we're watching just over your shoulder here, we're watching the parade continue, the pomp, the circumstance, the pageantry, but it is amidst a landscape that is quite divided at this point. And what are your feelings and thoughts on that?
Well, I think any president of the United States, whoever's in that office, has a tremendous megaphone, tremendous power to unite the country. And I think this president, I would like to see him be more measured in his rhetoric. I'd like to see him more effectively reach out across party lines. And I think the use of the military in the ways that it has been used in the last week, deploying them to deal with domestic issues, given the long history and the strongest voices you'll hear about the importance of a line between the civilians and the military, the importance of an apolitical military, the strongest voices for that are your career military officials, your four-star generals who will say that military is apolitical and it should be apolitical. And what we're seeing is a president who's trying to drag the military into a lot of political issues. Earlier this week, he gave a speech at Fort Bragg, and if you watch the footage, the crowd was behaving as if he was at a political rally, jeering when he mentions former President Joe Biden, cheering when he talks about his agenda.
All of them service members.
That's right, and they're selling MAGA hats at this event, and so that is. I think I would like to see the temperature come down, and the president has a tremendous platform for doing that, and I hope that he does.
I want to kind of piggyback off that point because that is certainly a departure from norm. My understanding is typically it goes against protocol for service members, particularly those in uniform, to sort of jeer doing these sort of political speeches. They are to remain sort of apolitical, nonpartisan.
That's right. That's right. And for my former colleagues when I was in the service, I still talk to friends from college and from the service now, and people have strong political views. Everybody votes. People are on both sides of the aisle. But to a person, everyone that I have kept in touch with believes that it doesn't serve anybody if people start to think that the military is part of the political discussion, as in what does the military think about cutting SNAP? What does the military think about this candidate or that candidate? That's something we want to avoid. That's something that we see in other countries where the military will intervene if they see a bad election result, where the military isn't actively part of governing on the domestic side. And that's something that we don't want to even look like we're moving in that direction. And I think that's what's concerning about the military being pulled into these more political settings by this president.
All right. Michael Negron, former service member and Department of Defense official. We appreciate you coming to talk with us today and sharing some context and balance.
Thank you so much, Michael. We appreciate
Thank you for having me.